Intellectual Property Rights in China by Mirviana Lila. China joined the World Trade Organization in September 2011. In the same year, China changed the intellectual property rights laws and regulations to comply with World Trade Organization agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. Despite stronger statutory protection, China continues to be number one in the world for counterfeiters and pirates that target both foreign and domestic companies. 20% of all consumers products in the Chinese market are counterfeit. According to one copyright industry association, the piracy rate remains one of the highest in the world, more than 90%, and US companies lose over $1 billion in legitimate business each year to piracy. Despite the enforcement measures taken to date have been insufficient to prevent massive intellectual property rights infringements effectively. Some of the factors that undermine the enforcement measures in China are China's reliance on administrative instead of criminal measures to combat intellectual property right violations, uh, also corruption and local protectionism, followed by limited resources and training available to enforcement officials. Also, lack of public education regarding the economic and social impact of counterfeiting and piracy. The enforcement of protection of intellectual property rights is very difficult in China. Without the right education with regard to the intellectual property rights, there is a little um, consciousness that violation is a crime. And the intellectual property law was forced in 1982, but despite that, the first intellectual property right training center wasn't established until 1996. There are many third-party websites in China that offer online counterfeit products as well as access to counterfeit hardware and merchandise. The Chinese government dominates 70% of its country's search engine revenue and has been called on by US officials to limit the activity of online counterfeiting groups. So in 2007, the Office of the United States Trade Representative placed China on its priority watch list for intellectual property rights violation. As we say, protection is the best prevention. The legal framework for protecting intellectual property rights in China is built on three national laws. First, patent law, which encourage invention, creation, and to promote the development of science and technology. Trademark law, which sets out general guidelines on administration of trademarks, protection of trademark owners' exclusive rights, and maintenance of quality of products or services. And also copyright law, which in most cases the copyright term is the right of the author plus 50 years, but for cinematographic and photographic works and work created by a company or organization, the term is 50 years after first publication. Though there is a commitment on the part of many central government officials in China to tackle the problem enforcement measures still have not been sufficient to prevent violations effectively.